Are you ready? If you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya. What's up? I'm awesome. Hello, ladies. Hey, ladies. Hey, really? Really? Oh, yeah. Yes. Yowie, wowie. Like mom. Baby. It's true. Believe that.
I have come to chew bubblegum and make a podcast, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Two Words Podcast. My name is John, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Radio Matt.
What?
Radio Matt, what's going on today?
Oh, I'm so excited. It's been a minute.
It's been a little bit. We came back real strong, and then we missed a week.
You were moving, right? That's
I
what
was
it
moving.
He was
That's
moving.
it. Which I don't ever recommend. I'm never moving. I
the
told
worst.
Hillary I'm never moving again.
It's the worst.
I'm just going to buy new stuff next time.
Just leave it. Just leave it and go.
Leave it all. It's in the sell price of the house now. But we are back, and we have a great, fun episode that I've been wanting to do for a little bit called Can't Hurt. We're going to look at all of the moves that are just a little dumb and don't look like they really could hurt anybody. And I know that this is a whole sport, a whole genre of entertainment based on not trying to actually hurt each other. But sometimes the suspension of disbelief is a little bit difficult. But first, hey yo, Stevie Richards believes that the WWE needs to be taking care of Bray Wyatt's family. Following the tragic death of Wyatt, WWE announced that the net proceeds from his merchandise sales would go to his family, but the former hardcore champ said on the Rene Dupree podcast, Cafe de Rene, which is an upgrade from her previous podcast name of Oral Sessions, that lasted like 3 weeks, I think.
I feel like it lasted 3 weeks, but you've managed to say the name of the podcast about a dozen times.
Oh, I've said the name of the podcast more than they probably ever did. Anyway, on the the Cafe de Rene podcast, that's 4 semesters of French right there for you. I would really stress WWE or Endeavor, whoever's taking the company over, to put his family, put his wife, bring her back as a ring announcer, bring her back and give her some kind of job. Overpay the heck out of her, send those kids to college, put a college fund together or whatever. I don't think that's a terrible idea. I think it's a pretty decent idea. You know, and with the amount of money that's being generated, it's a win-win for everybody. Wins for them. They get taken care of for life. WWE looks super good for taking care of somebody for life.
Yeah.
I stand with Stevie Richards.
I agree. Hey, yo. So I guess we got to talk about it a little bit. We don't have a segment devoted to it, but we got to talk about it. Shortly after WWE and the UFC officially merged into TKO Group, which has happened during our hiatus here.
Yes.
We saw some staff cuts, and then on September 21st, we got talent releases. We had Alexis Gray, Aaliyah, Brooklyn Barlow, Bryson Montana, Dabba-Kato, Dana Brooke, Daniel MacArthur, Dolph Ziggler, Elias, and I'm assuming Ezekiel too, Emma, Ikemen Hiro, Kevin Ventura Cortez, Mace Mansour, Mustafa Ali, Quincy Elliott, Rick Boogs. I'm so sad I'm not going to be able to say that name anymore. Riddick Moss, Shanky, Shelton Benjamin, which was a surprise to me, Tabdallah, Ulisa Leon, and Abdul Abadi Fitzgerald. And then on the 22nd, Matt Riddle was added to the list. And on the 23rd, Melanie Brzezinski was added to the list.
Brzezinski. So here's the thing: is I even have it in my notes. This is the first I am actually noticing that Dana Brooke was fired. There were so many names. There were so many people that were let go.
Yeah.
And to me, the most surprising names that step out, like you said, or stand out, Shelton Benjamin. Really hard to believe that they would just automatically cut that guy. Dolph Ziggler is the one that nobody gets.
He's the workhorse. He's always been the workhorse, and he's been happy being the workhorse.
A very happy mid-carder.
Yeah.
Like, he's really great. Dabba-Kato, Babatunde, not super surprising.
Yeah.
It's weird to me that they keep firing members of Hit Row,
Yeah.
but they don't fire all of them.
Right.
They just keep getting rid of one at a time. I think that's very strange.
Well, they fired Top Dollar, and then they brought him back and got him a new contract just to fire him again.
Yeah. Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle is less surprising if you know the relationship between him and the UFC.
Right.
In fact, Dana White was very aggressive in his comments on Matt Riddle, saying, even when he worked for us, we asked him to work three times a year, and he couldn't pass a drug test 3 times a year. When you knew you were going to need to pass one in 3 months,
Right.
and you couldn't figure it out. Like, I don't get it. Mustafa Ali, a little surprising. I think what's more surprising to me is that you brought back Nia Jax on 9/11 just to fire Dolph Ziggler.
Right.
Like, that's the company that these people are in. They're in a company that would rather have Nia Jax than Dolph Ziggler.
Right.
That is absolute insanity. It's bonkers.
Yeah. He's such a good on-air talent, and he's so underused, but he could easily be a similar character as The Miz, where he's just constantly being used to prop other people up, but in actual entertaining storylines. He's that good on camera, but they don't use him.
Well, and I think he might have known this was coming kind of down the line, because Nick Nemeth, who's his brother who wrestles in AEW, had posted some things on Twitter alluding that the two might be working together soon.
I would love it.
I'd watch the heck out of it.
I'd love to see Dolph team up with his bro over at AEW.
And then even the other thing when you see lists like this is you go, oh, that person still worked here. Like, oh, Mansoor. I don't know who Quincy Elliott is. I have never heard the name Quincy Elliott in 32 years of living. I have never even heard that name.
I'm sad about Elias. I think Elias makes me the saddest.
Okay, it does make me the saddest. It doesn't make me the saddest. I'm still a big Dolph Ziggler fan, but the funniest thing was with Elias, because he posted something, was like, oh, I got to do this, came back, got to play my own brother, and and somebody took that tweet and put it next to the video of Kevin Owens going, I knew it, you're a liar, I found you. And it was perfect. It was perfect comedic timing. Emma is another one of these. I didn't know she still worked. I really thought she got fired 4 years ago. Well, I mean, she did get fired 4 years ago, but
Emma and Mustafa Ali specifically, both of them have been like, let's give them a new push, and then it immediately stops. And then a new push and immediately stops. It's like on, off, but they never follow through.
Yeah.
So at this point, I don't let them go. Let them go.
Yeah.
Find another promotion to be in where they can be used.
Just leave. Well, hey, Will Ospreay's a little bit bummed after he got a tattoo commemorating the 81,000 tickets sold at Wembley Stadium. And then it came out that they only sold 72,265.
I forgot I saw that
And
video.
he's got a tattoo that says 81,000.
Do you know how hard it was to get this tattoo? My mom hates tattoos.
I mean, yeah, almost it was just like lawsuit. Where I'm
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
This
man.
is Will Ospreay's villain origin story.
He will tattoo that tattoo on Tony Khan's face.
I just
Man,
Gosh.
yeah, that one. Oh, that hurts so bad.
yeah.
Because it's not even, I mean, it's still a great showing, but it ain't a record anymore. And so it's not worth commemorating in a tattoo
Yeah.
for.
Yep. No.
Hey, yo, Rob Van Dam shared the story about how he lost his WWE Hall of Fame ring almost immediately after he got it. He said, so the very first week that I got it, I did a show in Wisconsin, and I wasn't used to having it, and I just left it in my hotel room. When I checked out, I went back to Las Vegas, and it took an honest maid and an honest front desk person and an honest wrestling promoter to get it back to me. So thank you, Ben McCoy, for calling me and saying, "Did you forget something, dude?" And I didn't even know yet that I had forgotten it. I just got home the next day and like, wow, I had it for, I don't know, I think it was the same week, so I didn't even have it very long, and I lost it already. Admit it though, we all assumed that he got high and left it at a Taco Bell or
Yeah,
something.
I mean that's
not
the
what
most
happened.
Rob Van Dam story that you could tell.
Those are expensive freaking rings.
They have to be, yeah. No,
Leave it.
ridiculous. Well, hey, I have a suggestion for all of the nerds out there. If you are looking to expand your fandom, because I know that when it comes to sports, nerds and sports don't always mix together. But if you are wanting to get into football, I have a suggestion for you. The University of Colorado. The University of Colorado has just been taken over by head coach primetime Deion Sanders, who is essentially a professional wrestler in everything that he does. He walks in, brings up all of the swag, brings in all of the personality, and that's why everybody in college football is falling in love with the University of Colorado. And in fact, he had AEW stars come to a University of Colorado practice to talk to them, including Trios champions Max Caster and the other guy that's with Max Caster. And I really forgot his name.
Oh,
What is Max? What is the guy that's? I don't know his Trios champion name. I started saying the names and then realized I didn't know the other guy's name.
Max Caster and Anthony Bowens.
Anthony Bowens.
you
That's
go.
right. That's right.
Along with Billy Gunn.
I'm sorry, Max Caster and Anthony.
Just say
Bowens.
the acclaimed.
The acclaimed. And also Mark Henry. Like they just showed up and was like hyping these guys up. So if you're looking for a professional wrestling style of football, that's not the XFL.
That's not the XFL,
obviously. I think that this is more professional wrestling than the XFL, especially now. But yeah, I think and they like it was really it's weird because when I think he had them talking to them about like load management and like mental health, and I don't know, there's just something that when I think I need to improve my mental health, I wonder what Mark Henry has to say. But, you know, he does.
All right. Hey, yo. AEW has seemingly signed a deal with Max to feature programming on their network in 2024. But All Elite Wrestling content may well be heading to Max before the end of 2023. Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast previously stated that he's confident AEW will be on Max in 2024. And AEW's pay-per-view schedule will increase to 12 major shows per year. Zarian has since upgraded his confidence that AEW is going to Max, and he reported on Wrestling Observer Live that AEW will be on Max in 2024, but the rumored December 2023 pay-per-view may even air on the streaming service as the start.
I keep trying to find a reason to get rid of HBO Max because I really could use that line item in my budget.
Right.
and then they keep adding stuff that I want to watch.
And now you'll get 12 AEW pay-per-views.
If you give me 12 AEW pay-per-views, I won't even consider it ever again. I will, and I'll watch the AEW pay-per-views too. That's the reason I don't watch. That's the only reason I don't watch AEW pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay $60, especially when your competition is giving it to me for $4 a month,
Right.
$5 a month, whatever Peacock is anymore. That's a good move for them. 'Cause, I mean, it's.
Now, I don't know if this means they'll have all the back content. It's the same company that they air on right now with all their other programs. So it's possible that those programs will be available on the streaming service as well, but I don't know if there'll be a delay or whatnot, or if it might just be the pay-per-views. I don't know.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
But if we did a WWE Network style, backlog,
They get their own kind of thing.
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, no, that's good. Even if they don't give the backlog, even if they literally just show the pay-per-views.
Yes, that's worth it. It's worth the price.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it all day, all night. Like I said, yeah, because it's the most expensive streaming service for me. Well, no, Hulu Live is more expensive.
Oh, well,
but
live.
it's also
But you're getting the live TV.
It's live. It's live stuff.
cable
College
light.
football's worth
Yeah.
the money. But yeah, no, I would, yeah.
Yeah, we're down.
Love that. I love that. Well, when we come, do you have anything else?
The only thing I have is not a full news story, but just Jade Cargill's now in WWE. So,
Hey, former TBS champion.
That's right.
from the network that reruns Seinfeld. Jade Cargill. Cargill.
Cargill, I think.
Cargill. Oh, she showed up at the Performance Center, and everybody's super, super excited.
Oh, they were hyping it all over WWE, TikTok, and whatnot.
Yeah. She might be the only woman that has as many muscles as Bianca Belair. Mm-hmm.
But she's also much taller.
She's very tall.
She's a behemoth.
She's so tall, and she's got the huge wingspan. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about it.
It's going to be fun.
I'm excited
Going to
about
shake up the women's division.
When we come back, we're talking about wrestlers. Obviously. Keep it here. What a dumb way to end a sentence.
Today in Nerd History.
Today's date is September 29th.
In 1985, MacGyver premiered. This classic TV show is about a secret agent who uses his scientific knowledge and everyday objects to solve problems and save lives.
In 1995, The Big Green premiered. This Disney movie is about a group of misfit kids from a small town in Texas who learn to play soccer with the help of a British teacher and a local sheriff and compete against the best team in the league.
In the year 2000, Remember the Titans premiered. This movie is based on the true story of how a racially integrated high school football team in Virginia overcame their differences and achieved success in the 1970s with the help of their coaches and leaders.
Find out more nerdy facts about today's entries at lovethynerd.com/nerdhistory.
Welcome back to the Two Words Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, if you are a Netflix subscriber, you were treated to a brand new show called Wrestlers. Wrestlers is a show specifically about OVW, run by Al Snow and owned by a man named Matt Jones. And it kind of chronicles their summer of 2023 and how they're trying to take this company that was once this wonderful developmental brand for WWE and a lot of the other professional wrestling companies, and get them back into the black money-wise. And so Matt and I did our due diligence, and we binged the entire series in like a couple of Matt did it,
I did it
one
in a day.
Matt did it in a day. I have responsibilities.
Well, I did too. I was just able to do it while I did those things.
Yes, I tried to do it in my office. Like I have my second monitor and I was watching it, but it's really hard to study Genesis and watch wrestlers at the same time. It was really hard to do. But what did you think of the show?
Freaking great. So
yeah.
it's just like it's a one season thing. It's a documentary.
Yeah.
7 episodes. I don't think they're going to be doing more. I think this was just a one hit piece, but it was so phenomenally well done. I know nobody except Al Snow coming into this. I've heard of none of these wrestlers.
I think I had heard of Shira when he was in Impact.
I don't think I even remember that. But it made me care so much about all of these people.
Yeah.
in every area. And it showcased cuz the guy that bought the main guy that bought, controlling kind of
The company.
the company that bought it. The guy,
The
Matt.
company.
His name's Matt. It showcased really, like early on, the tension between now a new owner and Al Snow, who's running the promotion, and their conflicting ideas and compromises on both sides and how it goes. Like it was really, really well done, and in some places very intense.
It was very intense. I think that number one, just put together from a production standpoint, this was an incredible documentary. The cameras looked good. The music was really good throughout the whole series. That they were able to tell consistent stories and have these consistent established characters and really show like what it's like being an indie wrestler who works at the Holiday Inn in the morning and then is wrestling in the evening.
Right.
Like
It had a very 80s vibe to it.
Oh, yeah.
Like you picture WWE in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how the feel was. Even with the backstage stuff, you could tell it was like old monitors and, they were always complaining about cables that were
Stuff not working.
loose and whatnot and all this kind of stuff. And it felt like, this is very an old setup, it looks like.
Yeah.
There's nothing digital happening.
So, a couple of things though that I thought were interesting that stood out to me. One, in episode 2, there's a talking head of Al Snow while he's getting a massage, and I felt like that was unnecessary. And it wasn't he's getting a massage and discussing with somebody else. Like, no, he's in the massage chair. His head is through that little thing, and he's doing his talking head. Almost like, okay, well, if you're going to get this in now. And the only weirder talking head to me was Eric Darkstrom, who did most of his talking heads in a beat-up Dodge Neon behind the docks.
Yeah, it lasted the whole 7 episodes.
The whole series, that was what he did.
Leaning out the window, arm out.
I don't think that Eric Darkstrom is a real person. Like, this guy can't be real because he's first of all, if you've not seen, I'm going to try to give you this guy's image. He's shaved his beard and head with the little lines like Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy used to have. He has this real thick accent because they're in Kentucky. I'm sorry to anybody from Kentucky that I've offended with that, but y'all know the people that talk just like that. You do. And the moment that I realized this might not be a real person is when he's talking about his tattoos and he takes his shirt off and it starts okay, but he's got a lot of tattoos. So he's like, over on this arm says love, but like if you turn it upside down, it says hate, because love and hate, they're so close together. And then on the other side, I have something similar with good and evil, because they're just tied right next to each other. On my chest here, I have the Second Amendment. Some people think that it's an AK-57, but it's not, because it's actually words from the Constitution. On my back, I have Dracula, and he's right next to to Dr. Ron Paul. Look him up. And then down here I got forgiven, because just to remind myself that Jesus forgives us, so we got to forgive ourselves.
Yeah. He does go on a pretty
You're
long.
not a real person. Like,
And then
there's
we
got to
have-
be a like. There's no tattoo artist that I've ever met that would be like, yeah, I'll give you a Dr. Ron Paul tattoo next to your Dracula tattoo.
Nah, they do it.
That
They
makes
do
a
it for
lot of
money.
sense.
They do it for money. Hollywood Haley J, also not maybe equally as ridiculous of a person, but pretty close.
Yeah,
One of
kind
the main
star
focuses.
of the show.
Yeah, one of the
really.
main focuses.
One of the big focuses.
And then her mom, Amazing Maria. They have a freaking death match.
Yeah,
Against each
blood
other. This
everywhere.
was ridiculous. I was watching that part through my hands.
yeah, yeah. Hollywood Haley J is an interesting one, because I immediately didn't like her.
Right.
Mostly because I do not like any 22-year-old that uses the phrase, I got a lot of life experience. No, you don't. Like, you don't. I got a lot of life experience and anger issues. I'm just an anger person. Like, shut up. Like, you got little person syndrome. That's what you got. You got a Napoleon complex.
This is just who I am. My character is me.
Just turned up. That's what she says. This is who I am, just turned up. And her boyfriend, Eric Darkstrom, who I've also pointed out is not a real person. Like, even he's like, you're being too much.
Right.
You need to forgive yourself. Like, he's like, you're being too much. She's like, this is just who I am. And he's like, it's not who you are. I'm well aware it's not who you are. You're not Hollywood Haley J. Sometimes you're just Haley that bartends at the Holiday Inn. Like, that's who you are. I don't. When that guy is telling you, like, you need to chill, like, you really need to chill. And I think it's all capped off though by her delivery of one line. And I'm spacing this out, but like, she tells this really awful story in like episode 5, I think, about like her friends. Her friends had gone to pick some guys up. They gave her drugs. There was this really, really awful experience, where and won't even go into her entire story because it's a bit too graphic even for the family show, but like this whole story of drugs and being taken advantage of and all this other stuff, and then she caps the whole story off by going 15, as if that's a normal 15-year-old's life. Like, if that explains the whole thing. 15.
Yeah.
Like,
But
got a lot of life experience.
But it does seem to follow her in a lot of ways. Towards the end of the summer, she's being invited to go to WOW, Women of Wrestling, to play a completely different character.
Yeah.
For different segments and a few tapings and things, which is cool. She actually was scheduled to be a part of the most recent tryouts for WWE.
Really? I didn't know. I didn't see that.
And it got canceled on her. Because of, quote, something in her medical file. And so I have no idea what it was.
I do love that, because in the first episode, there's another wrestler who's like, I'm not going to wrestle anybody while they're high.
Right. Like,
whatever you do in your free time, that's fine. I'm not going to do that. And Haley J's response is basically like, yeah, I smoke because there's something wrong with my head. I'm like, that's not a medical explanation. That's not a good explanation as to, I don't think, maybe there is. I don't know. But something in her medical file. Again, that's like, just, I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't do in your life, but like, y'all know the rules. Even Roman Reigns got put on leave
Right.
for the marijuana thing.
Right.
Like,
But anyway, all the drama aside, the actual focus on the wrestling aspect and all the behind the scenes stuff that has to go on, especially with a company that's scrambling to make money. It was such a good show, such a well done, well told story. And ends on a hopeful note, maybe not a great note, because they were still severely underfunded and what they tried to do over the summer didn't get enough money as they wanted.
yeah.
Nearly. But we'll see.
At least that one guy didn't get fired.
That's true.
Hey.
That hurt me.
Yeah,
Man, it was that second episode. They're like, "Hey, if this summer doesn't go well, we're gonna have to let you go." And he's like, "Oh,
I think what hurt me more is the next scene. Where
I'm not gonna go
He
see
misses.
my son."
Yeah, where he misses seeing his son to like caddy at a golf tournament.
Yeah." And that was hard, man. That's when I texted
Heartstrings.
you after that episode. I'm like, "This show is intense,
Just
bro."
bonkers. And then even after that, it gets more bonkers when you see Matt Jones have a seizure on camera.
Oh,
And they just kept, one guy was like, I'm just going to I got film. They didn't yell cut. I'm going to keep on filming. I'll film
Yeah.
from a distance.
yeah, that was rough too.
Yeah. Al Snow looks great for
does.
60.
He does.
No, not for 60. Al Snow looks great.
Period. Yeah.
I look bad for 32. Al Snow looks great.
When I watched that match that he had towards the end, he got to come back for one more match, which he thought he was done doing. Mm-hmm. When I watched that match, all I could think about was Crown Jewel with Triple H and HBK and Undertaker and Kane, and like, man, how is Al Snow doing this in an indie promotion,
And
looking
HBK.
better than them at one of the biggest events with the most money and everything put together over in Saudi Arabia? Like, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
And following his whole story, because he recapped a lot of his story too throughout the series from WWE and elsewhere, and it was really good to relive
Yeah.
that because I loved Al Snow.
If you like wrestling, you'll love the show. If you liked the Attitude Era, you'll love the show. I think it's a must watch. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, it'll probably make you a wrestling fan.
Yep, I'd agree.
And then even at the end,
I don't know where you're going, so I can't help you.
you know, one of the girls got signed to AEW.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't remember which one. She wasn't really a focus of the show,
Yeah,
but
she was the one that got proposed to.
That's right. Yeah.
There's also a guy named Mr. Pectacular. So,
Mr. Pectacular.
and he runs around on a on a hoverboard, like the whole show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is on hoverboard. I forgot about that.
And at the end, they're like all introducing themselves in the very last episode, and he says, "I'm Mr. Pectacular," and then he does the peck pops, and I loved that. So anyway, well, like I said, I thought it was a great show. If you're into wrestling, if you're into the Attitude Era, if you want to get into wrestling, if you want to see what it's all about, this is the great show. When we come back, we're going to be talking about bad moves. So keep it here.
I'm Julian Jamar, and this is another of Reviews of the Nerds. I don't do book reviews often. I think it's partly because the majority of the books I spend time with are so old that everyone in the world has surely already read them. Or because I don't want to come off as a literary nutcase. I'm a literature teacher, so I am a literary nutcase. I just don't want to come off that way. Anyway, sometimes a book strikes me so differently, and it's current or culturally relevant, or it's just so much fun, I must speak on its behalf. This is Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton. I listened to the audio version, which he reads himself. It is really fun to listen to Draco Malfoy talk for a few hours about being Draco Malfoy. If you loved Harry Potter, I did, he does not destroy it for you. With a separate section for each of his co-stars and what it was like to work with them, he enriches the experience with behind-the-scenes, quote-unquote, footage. He gives an entire chapter to his sweet friendship with Emma Watson. Priceless. If you love autobiographies, I also do, this one is full of all the things that make them brilliant. Detail, rich, raw, and honest. He takes you through his life, reminds you how good it is to be normal, and addresses his struggles with kindness for himself and others. Finally, if you think Hollywood is the worst place in the world for children to grow up, I also think that. He does nothing to make you think otherwise. Short read, short and sweet and lovely in all the ways you want it to be. The end. Once again, I'm Julian Jamar. You can catch all of my reviews on movies and books at julianjamar.com, and this has been another Reviews of the Nerds.
And welcome back to the Two Words Podcast, where today our two words are can't hurt. And then dummy. There's no wrong time to use the yeah button. We're talking about moves that are dumb, moves that look weird, moves that just couldn't possibly hurt another human being in a real fight perspective. So today, that's what Matt and I are talking about. And Matt, let's just kick it right off. What are some weird looking moves to you?
I got a good list here. I think we have to start with the mandible claw.
Okay, we're starting famous.
With the famous mandible claw that has been used by Mankind and Bray Wyatt. Two of my favorite all-time wrestlers. Yeah. And frankly, I loved every time they used it.
Of course.
What's keeping the opponent from just biting down on their fingers?
You know, when you're looking at things like the mandible claw, the mandible claw and the cobra.
The cobra too.
The cobra is a dumb move. But the wrestler, the performer who does it, I mean, Santino made the cobra work.
I agree.
Mankind
and Bray
both
made the mandible claw
work. Like, it was a dumb move, yes, and it looked stupid, and obviously, like, it wasn't really gonna, like, even if you didn't bite down, like, somebody just grabbing your mouth, like, that.
Right, I don't remember. Originally, the explanation was, like, the two middle fingers go in under the tongue, and they're pushing down on a specific nerve
maybe.
that, like, paralyzes you or whatever. But they dropped that real quick. They never explained that again. And it's just dirty sock in mouth. Take that. Oh, gosh, I have a dirty sock in my mouth. Flailing about all over the ring. It was in his shorts. It was in his crotch. I can't wrestle in these conditions.
You know, you really wonder how, like, OSHA's never stepped in on any of this sort of stuff. Because I was watching, like, going back to the wrestlers thing, you know, they had that death match and she's like bloody everywhere. And I'm like, did she have to go there? Because I remember, like, in retail, you got to go through bloodborne pathogen training for, like, cleaning up blood spills and that sort of stuff. I'm like, how does OSHA not?
I mean, OSHA gets mad if you have a light switch too far away from a door.
I'm telling you, man,
I don't understand how wrestling exists.
How does this as a performance? Like, we're talking about sweaty crotch socks in somebody else's mouth. It was the 90s, man. It was crazy. To me, one of the weirder looking moves is the coup de grace.
Coup de grace.
I just don't get it. There's no way to sell it in a way than like, oh, this is super cool. And I don't care how into it the announcers get. Like, you're just jumping up and you step on them. it's akin to and you used to be able to do this in the video games. Mark Henry, there was a move set that Mark Henry had in the video games where you just stepped on a dude.
Right. Yeah.
Like you just walked on him.
Which, I mean, it could hurt, but not.
And everybody go, oh my gosh!
Right.
ah!"
The
Like,
end of life.
I just don't get the coup de grace. I think somebody as cool as Finn Balor could come up with something
better. I got the Kali chop on here, where Great Kali would just karate chop someone in the head, and that would knock them out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, his
It
big
looked
big
even worse than
beef sticks.
Big Show's WMD punch. It's just a karate chop to the head. Boom, and you're out. Because he can't do anything else. Because he can't move. He can't move fast. He can't bend his body.
I saw a TikTok the other day of him like in like a restaurant kitchen, and he grabs his pan and like does something, and the pan lights on fire, and he picks it up and throws it on the floor.
Well, that's what I would do.
It's just like, I don't know, man. Throwing fire pans everywhere. Yeah, no, those are. I don't like big man moves like that. It's just like. I know it's supposed, like, if Big Show actually punched me, yes, it would really, really hurt.
But they don't look great. The
They
Big
look
Show
bad.
punch did not look good. It did. They always tried to make it look like it was this powerful thing, and they brought out that video game where you punch the
Yeah.
boxing thing, and it
Yeah.
gives you the number or whatever, and it broke or whatever. Yeah, I mean, they do all this to make it look like it was a big deal, and it's like it still just looks like he's going,
I jacked my knee up for a year on one of those things at a bar one time. I was with a buddy who worked at this bar, and it was shutting down, and like there was a bunch of us just like, hey, what if like one of us could super kick it?
Oh man.
And I slipped and nailed my knee on the metal plate at the bottom. And I was like, I texted my buddy the next day. I'm like, I can't walk. Hurt my knee on the punching machine.
Some of my favorite TikTok videos are people overpowering that machine, going too hard, and then like, falling through it, smacking their face on it.
And the thing with the Kali chop is like, all it looks like is getting hit in the head with a pork loin. That's all. It's just like
Punk.
it's like a brisket just beating somebody. Like it could hurt, I guess. I don't like Darby Allin's coffin drop. Where he just jumps off the top rope and just kind of
Falls.
stiffs and falls.
Yeah.
It's like the Santino headbutt. It's the same thing except the other way around. It's like why? Except when Santino did it, it was funny. It was supposed to be funny.
It was supposed to be
when Darby
comedic.
Allin does it, it's supposed to be like supernatural Sting stuff, and it just doesn't work for me.
Right. I got the 5-knuckle shuffle and the people's elbow. Tiny hits with a lot of flair, bouncing off the ropes and posing over your opponent. Do not make a move more effective.
They're the exact same move.
And it's stupid. It doesn't look like it hurts.
They're dumb moves that follow great moves. Like the rock bottom
Rock bottom looks like
and
it
the
hurts.
attitude adjustment. Attitude adjustment's a great move.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic finishing move. Just finish there.
Right. If a tiny elbow or a tiny punch to the head is going to be the thing that puts them down, you could have already pinned them.
And you also can't make the 5-knuckle shuffle, which I hate saying that name. I hate calling it that. I can't believe in the PG era we still call it that. The problem with that is he always punches to the side. He never actually makes it look like he's punching them in the head. He always punches the mat, and they always do it from the camera angle. You can see him punching the mat. They never go from the opposite side camera angle. This is cameras 101, dude. And not one of you in 20 some odd years has figured this out. I don't get it. There are moves also that have terrible names. Such as the Shining Wizard, which also sounds like a euphemism.
the shiniest wizard, right?
No, it's the Shining Wizard is the moveset.
Oh.
Tegan Knox is called the girl with the shiniest wizard, which is not a nickname you should have. Because
Isn't it from something?
I don't know. Because like because the Shining Wizard, which is also a dumb move,
Yeah.
because it's just like slip and sliding over your opponent's back.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
I just to call it something else. Even if it didn't sound like a euphemism, it's a dumb name. And I always I always steer clear of naming things anything wizard after the clan kind of coined that one.
Yeah.
You can't
Kind of ruin the wizard.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, KKK.
Now I can't watch Lord of the Rings.
You ruined the word wizard. Amongst other things. You did a lot of other bad things.
All right, I got back handspring attacks on here.
Oh my goodness.
Doing a couple back flips before you hit your opponent doesn't add momentum. It kills momentum.
I absolutely hate the springboard back elbow that Ricochet
Oh, yeah, those
does.
will do too, yeah.
He's got so many cool moves, but he does a springboard elbow, and it just doesn't make any sense. Just doesn't make any sense to me. Another move to me that has a terrible name. It's a cool move too, but it's a terrible name. Chuck Taylor in AEW has a finishing move called the Awful Waffle.
That's from Salute Your Shorts.
It is.
Awful waffle.
Gosh, the 90s, man, really coming back. And it's a dope move. I'm like, let's not call it that.
I got Starship Pain on here.
Starship Pain is another great move.
No.
No, Starship Pain is so cool.
It's a basic, boring leg drop with some spinny flippies added in beforehand. If anything, it makes it a worse leg drop.
How dare you? How dare you?
I love the name Starship Pain. I hate the move.
Dope
It
name.
looks nice. It doesn't do anything.
I think all leg drops, though.
Yeah, I have basic leg drop on here too.
Hulk Hogan.
You're landing a bent knee across someone's chest where the force is spread out across the whole leg.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt anybody. It's less effective than a straight up punch.
Yeah. It's just why would you do that? Stink face. We got to talk about the stink face.
That's a pure comedy move. Come on.
I don't care if it's a pure comedy move. The way you sell the stink face is just like, come on,
Then
guys.
just wiggle it in.
Same way with the Bronco Buster.
Yeah, I got that on here.
The Bronco Buster has to hurt you more than it hurts them.
Right. You're just kind of bouncing on their lap and chest with your butt and crotch in the corner of the ring. It feels more of a taunt than a move.
Yeah, if it was a taunt, that'd be way better to me. And I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this. The figure 4 leg lock.
I have most submission holds on here.
Like the figure 4 leg lock. Like, there's a video of Joe Rogan, who we've mentioned twice in a row on this podcast now, of him talking about like Tony Hinchcliffe was showing him a video of Ric Flair doing the figure 4 leg lock, and Joe Rogan's like, if you know anything about submission, you just sit up and punch the guy. Like, you just kind of move your leg like this.
Like most submission holds you can get out of just by twisting your torso.
Yeah.
Just moving around. Just like, okay, well, now my leg slips out. Like most submission holds that are used for show in WWE, you have to completely believe that person cannot move. They're in so much pain, they can't move beyond going, reaching for the rope, and that's about it.
Which the angle lock.
Yeah.
The ankle lock. Like you twist the leg.
Their whole
All
body
you gotta
can
do
be
is just
flailing.
go
Do anything. Yeah.
flip over.
Just do anything. Your
flip
whole
over.
body's free at that point. You're not locking anything other than just holding a guy's foot. You could get out of your shoe easier than having to pretend to be held onto. All right, I'm about to get heat.
Okay, get some heat.
the 619. It's fun.
Yeah.
It makes for a great moment, but the setup is almost like a video game. He has to get his opponent to fall in the exact right way, in the exact right position, on the exact rope, and have that opponent be too tired to move the whole time that he's running all the way to the other side and all the way back to do a move they all know is coming because he does it in every match.
I get it. But the name of the podcast is Can't Hurt.
Well, that's true.
And this is you
sure
named
does
you
hurt.
named the only move that's killed a guy.
That's true. That's true.
I'm with you on it. Like the setup and everything. Yeah, sure. But
Good point.
most of Ric Flair's moves, though, he did not have a particularly great moveset because there was always, especially when you watch older Ric Flair, he goes up on the top rope and he does like a dive, and the person always catches them and like throws them down.
Yeah.
It's almost every single time. Like one time he like cross-bodied somebody and it worked. It's like, oh, that's what he was supposed to be doing. I don't know.
I also have Old School on here.
I forgot about Old School.
We have to believe that the arm twist he has his opponent in is so painful that they would be unable to just shove wobbly old Undertaker off the top rope for the whole 30 seconds it takes him to get up there and walk up there just to jump down and hit him in the back of the neck.
And does the tightrope help?
I don't understand. Yeah. How is it any different than
tightrope
climbing
walking?
up just climb the turnbuckle and jump from the top turnbuckle?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand the need.
All that for like a wrist chop.
Right. Yeah.
Like-
for very little.
That's-
very little gain.
That's it. And I'll I think the move could hurt, but I always get really weird watching Last Ride because you basically flip some dude and put his junk just
Right in your face.
right there in your face.
It would really hurt, though. I feel like that would be a.
Oh yeah,
painful
especially because the
move.
guy, you're falling from like 9 feet at that
Yeah.
point. I feel like if I was the Undertaker, anybody that was wrestling and gonna do that move to, I'd be like, you better take a shower before our match. Because if you don't,
Who's the good soap?
I'm gonna really hurt you. Like I would carry around the bars. I'll be like, this is the bar of soap you're gonna use. You're gonna spray it down with Axe.
All right.
Gonna Lysol that thing.
I've only got one more.
Okay, hit me with it.
Asian Mist.
The
Literally
green stuff.
spitting mist
Oh.
in people's eyes. But what's more unbelievable about it is the fact that the different color mists are supposed to do different things to the opponent. Red mist is supposed to burn your eyes.
Obviously.
Blue mist is supposed to put your opponent to sleep. And the green mist is just supposed to cause general disorientation.
This is all Mist 101. I don't know what your deal is here.
Have you never had a job where that you were constantly misted in the face? We all know the rules.
So kind of in that vein, because it's getting me thinking about WCW. I was watching old Nitro a while back, and there was an episode where I don't even remember who it was, but one of the wrestlers dressed up as like an old lady and was like hitting Hulk Hogan with a cane, like as an old lady. But like the way, can we talk about Hulk Hogan giving chair shots? Let's talk about something that doesn't look like it hurts. Look up Hulk Hogan giving chair shots, and it is the most gingerly tap on the forehead you've ever seen. Like as old WCW, it's like he gets the chair and he goes, and then the guy goes, ah! And like falls out. It's like we talk about something that doesn't hurt. I mean, I don't know.
I gotta say, I know that the chairs that they use for chair shots in wrestling are like thinner metal than standard metal chairs. several years ago, I had a buddy Marty. We were doing a skit about why men love wrestling.
Yeah.
And I had him hit me in the back with the chair to end it, with the chair from our church here.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, it looks like he barely goes dunk on my back. Like it was the weakest thing ever. And I just collapsed. It hurt so much. I was on the ground going, oh, it's a bad idea. So I don't know how thinner those chairs are, but it still might hurt a lot to barely get tapped on the head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Daniel Bryan tells a story. He was going to Shawn Michaels wrestling school back in like the late 90s. And some guy was like, how do you take a chair shot? Shawn Michaels was like, you just get hit with a chair. That's it.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad they don't do it to the head anymore because, well, they did it, though, at AEW. WWE doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
Occasionally they'll do it in AEW in one of their matches.
Yeah. That's rough stuff. Well, but if we missed a move, let us know. Head on over to our socials at 2WordsLTN and tell us your ideas for the moves that just can't hurt. They look dumb. They got a terrible name. We want to hear from you. But we'll be back in a couple of weeks with another fun-filled episode. But until then, my name's John. His name's Matt. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Goodbye.